What is up, guys? Jeremy here, and welcome back to another video. So I got a really cool application for you guys to check out. It is available on iOS 12, and we're going to go ahead and jump into Safari so you guys can check it out. So it's called Ftos, Stronger Than Ever. But this is definitely a really cool app. We'll get more into it here as we go, but I do want to mention before I install it, it does support the iPad. I thought that was really cool that it does have support for the iPad, so if you have an iPad, this will work on that as well. But anyways, to install it, we'll just click on Install. The link for this will be down in the description, by the way. Click on Allow. We're going to set up a profile. Click on Install. Go ahead and put your passcode in if you have one set up. Click on Install in the upper right, Install at the bottom, and then we can click on Done in the upper right. We can exit out of Safari, and as you guys can see, the Ftos application has been installed on my device. So let's go ahead and launch it. There is a little bit of a setup process. So let's give it a second. As you can see, welcome to Ftos. We'll click on English, because that is my language. Click on Continue. And this is pretty neat, I think. You can actually change the theme of Ftos, so you can change the color of the text. As you guys can see, there's purple, green, yellow, pinkish, red, and of course the default blue. You can also change it to a dark mode, then changing the text. It just gives it a different feel. I think that's really cool, so we'll go with that. Click on Continue. You can set up a Ftos account, sign up or sign in. We'll skip that for now. I'm actually pretty tempted to do that because I really do like this application. There's some instructions here if you guys want to read through it. We'll just click on Continue and start using the application. So here is the app. As you can see, we are in the home section. You have some notices that you can read up on. You have a refresh button at in the upper left there. So first is the menu where you can change the theme. As you guys seen, I was changing that. I just think that's really cool that you can actually change the theme of it. We'll leave it as the dark mode with purple. I think that looks cool. The next section is Apple devices specs. I think this is a really cool feature of it. You can actually see all of the specs of all of the Apple devices. So for the iPhone XS Max, and this is like a full spec sheet. Like you have all of the specs of that device. Memory, network, connectivity, appearance, the display, the camera specs, basically everything, which is really cool. I'm not sure if this has a swipe back feature. It doesn't. We'll close out of the X up there. And as you can see, it has all of the iPhones, all of the iPads, all of the iPod Touches, the Apple Watches, and then the Apple TVs. We'll back out of there. Next section is the Jailbreak Checker, but you will have to have an account with a device registered for it to check if there's a jailbreak available. Next is the Ftos Info, so a bunch of info about the application. You have latest firmwares down here for iOS, watchOS, tvOS, macOS. You have firmwares that have stopped being signed. And you have developer beta firmwares you can get, and then public beta firmwares that you can get there as well. So that's the main page. The next section is firmware. You can upgrade to the iOS 12 developer betas from this. So if you have no interest in a jailbreak and you like being on the newest version of iOS, you can get the developer beta here, which I believe would install iOS 12.2 beta 2, I think is where it's at right now. You can also use this app to block the iOS update. I made a separate video about that in the past using a different method, but you can use this application to block iOS updates as well. And then you do have signing status, which is pretty neat. So if you want to check to see what is the current latest firmware or what's currently being signed, you can use this application. As you can see, for the iPhone XS Max, 12.1.4 and 12.1.3 are currently being signed. Everything else in red is unsigned. So another cool feature of this application, and that is the firmware section. And again, it does show it for all of the devices. Next is the FT Store. This is where you're going to download applications like the Rootless Jailbreak or Filesa, GeoFilesa. You can get the Spiral Rootkit, Carrier Changer 12, Electra for iOS 11.0 through 11.4.1. This is also, you can get Tutu app, certain applications. So a bunch of stuff is displayed here. That's just the latest apps. So you can go through by section here. You have utilities for iPhone. So I'll show you some of the apps that are featured here. There's a lot of applications to download, so I'm not going to go through all of them and mention all of them, but you can get things like GBA for iOS, a bunch of really cool stuff. You got iFile, even though you'd have to use Filesa. Instagram Red. We'll back out. So that is the utilities. You have the Jailbreak Apps section here. So you can get all the different versions of Electra, Extra Recipe, like I mentioned, Filesa, Helix, Nonce Reboot 11.3.1, the Rootless Jailbreak, also Uncover. And then you have app modded features. So this is going to be modded applications, basically. Facebook++, Instagram++, all of the ++ apps. Free paid apps, so you can get paid apps for free. Duplicate apps, old version apps, and then hacked games. I'm not going to go through all the sections because there is a lot, but they do offer a lot of really cool stuff within this app. You have shortcuts here, so if you guys want some custom shortcuts for Siri shortcuts, you can find a bunch of different ones to choose from here as well. I thought that was really cool. That's another thing I haven't seen from an application like this. And then we do have the FT blog here if you guys wanted to follow their blog. And then there is FT CYDIA for tweaks and stuff like that. So like I said, guys, a really cool in-depth application with a lot of stuff packed into it. Apps to download, firmware information, device information, pretty much everything you'd want from a standalone third-party application. It's definitely really cool. Again, like I said, the link for FTOS is down in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely throw me a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot here at the channel. And if you guys want to see more videos like this in the future, don't forget to click that subscribe button. This has been Jeremy, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Later.